Justin Gatlin is the latest in a long line of sprint sensations to emerge from the USA.
Gatlin got a good start. Look at this man coming through now. Gatlin. What a fantastic performance from Gatlin. It's all about Gatlin.
Ultimate goal is to be one of the best sprinters in history.
And what a fantastic performance from Gatlin. And look at the time.
It's the American leading the Jamaican at the moment.
He knows he is the world champion.
Justin Gatlin is the world champion here in London.
Everybody, welcome back for another episode of Ready, Set, Go. We in the building. We got a hitter today. But before we get started, you know who's locked and loaded. He's ready to go. My boy right here. The man with the beard, the man with the plan. He got the rundown. He got all that. I'm going to go down the list of everything. Your boy Rodney Green, man. What's going on, man?
Hey, appreciate it, man. Hey, appreciate it. Glad to be here. Want to thank our subscribers. Just want to let everybody know, man, we are over 16,000 subscribers right now. We thank everybody that watched, that subscribe. We appreciate it so much. We appreciate the love. But we're going to get into our show at this point, man.
Here for all our subscribers. We appreciate y'all. Definitely.
Yeah, you see that boy hat? That boy said USA drinking team, boy, as it is.
Listen, y'all thought I was retired, man. I ain't retired. I just transferred over into another discipline. Please, shaken, stirred, chilled. That's how I like it.
All right, Justin Bond. I hear you. Shaken, not stirred. Man, what we going to talk about today, man? You know, we had a few things transpire since our last show. Let's talk about Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson in the new league Grand Slam. What do you think about the Grand Slam, man? Did you understand it and everything that they put forth?
I think so. I think it's going to be really good for the sport, for exposure, for making money. It's a whole nother level, a whole nother step. To me, it's like a combination of like the Diamond League and the Golden League all put together in one. And he took the good parts from all these different leagues, and now he's made a league that's more superior, it looks like. So we're going to see what it looks like. What's your thoughts on it?
I like what he did, man, especially money-wise. You know what I mean? If you are one of those, it has a funny thing to it because he has races and I think challengers. The races are the salaried contracted athletes that he has.
So they're getting paid regardless.
They're going to get paid regardless for the 4 slams he has, if I understand correctly. But the one thing I like about the money situation is the money is life-changing. Like, if you win 4 slams, you know what I mean? That's $400K. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you're one of those salaried runners, that's $400K plus. The funny thing is you could get last place in every one of those slams and make $40K. Because last place is what first place is in the Diamond League is $10K.
So essentially, you're winning the Diamond League. As getting 8th place in this Grand Slam, you are winning financially the Diamond League.
Which makes it more attractive away from the Diamond League. So which I was wondering, is it a Diamond League competitor? Because I think there's 12 Diamond Leagues, if I'm correct. But it's only 4 slams. So he condensed the amount of meets. But the way it's set up is, you know, you got to do like 2 events. You either got to do the 400 meters and the 400 hurdles together, and you got to lock up with your rival for both, or the 100 or 200 or 200 and the 400. So it ain't like a one-trick pony. Like, you got to do 2 events.
So that's why I only find it difficult, and I can see why someone like Fem Cabal kind of pulled out, because that would be taxing. You know what I mean? Even though it was 4 events, 4 race, it's not 4 races. Like, she's literally going out there and running the 4 and the 400 hurdles. So she literally has to go out there and run against the top 400 meter runners in the world who sign up for this event, and the top 400 meter hurdlers in the world who sign up for that event, and any challengers. So she's gonna have it's like a mini championship kind of rolled in these 4 events where it's going to tax her. And then she has to balance it with the regular season. And then outside the regular season, you got to get ready for a championship too. So you got to peak. So when do you peak? When do you peak? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you coming at the peak?
I think is for somebody like Fenky Ball, money is not an issue, right? You know, she's already paid from her country. She's paid by her shoe company. So she could drop out. I think he was wanting her to be one of the salaried rivals to go against Sydney because she's already one of the contracted athletes, which is interesting to see who who else he's going to salary as challengers, or racers rather. So the challengers could come in at any time based on their performance, popularity, and by their ranking. You know what I mean? So I think he explained it as if you're a college runner just coming out, right? And you ran something like 9.8 and the world lead is 9.8. You know what I mean? You could essentially jump into the Grand Slam and make real good money really quickly. You know what I mean? So that's how he set it up. But it wouldn't be he wouldn't be contracted to go for the next two. He can be selected, but he wouldn't be contracted. Now the salaried runners are contracted for the 4 slams. They got to run. I think the only way they don't run is if they're hurt. So they have to sign a contract to compete in all 4 slams.
So I got another question. Is there an elimination process year by year? And what I mean by that is, let's just say the bottom ranked racer, are they going to get kicked out or bumped off by the top ranked challenger? You see what I'm saying? Like if the top ranked challenger comes in and does a better job than the bottom ranked racer, do they swap roles or how's that work? Or do you just keep those athletes in their places?
He's going to keep it because they contracted, they salaried, they signed a deal for 4 slams.
Well, I'm saying year by year though. At the end of the year, do you get that guy come in or that female come in who really worked their way up the system and now they can become a salaried athlete? Because that's potentially what you want to become. You want to become a salaried athlete.
I definitely think so. I think that the board would have to meet every year and to figure out how the slam is going to work and be developed. So I'm thinking, that definitely can happen. He didn't when I watched the interview and watched him talk about it, he didn't disclose that far, but you know what I mean? I would hope that that's how it would be because track is all about what have you done for me lately? You could have a stellar year one year and then that next year just be like, whoa, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So we know how track is. It's real finicky and fickle that way. You know what I mean? So the one thing that I read in the comments with him, and I don't think Michael Johnson did this intentionally, there are no field events. No field events. But I think when and this is just my opinion, I think when he talked about it to the investors, the track part, it just looks sexier. You know what I mean? And I think in our sport, it is track and field. We have to do a better job of showcasing the field part. You know what I mean? Like the hammer, the shot put, the javelin, high jump and long jump and triple jump, they're amongst the more popular ones. But the throwers, I think they need a lot more love because they're amazing. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell you right now, and this is bad, person who's been in track almost their whole life, I couldn't tell you the weight of a women's short put or a men's short put, or, you know what I mean? I couldn't tell you.
So I think here's the problem that we have. And I'm not saying that, Michael went out there and said, we don't care about the field events, but it's a fact of if we want to be able to put our sport out there, there's different ways you can do it, right? So you got to put out what is drawing attention, and then you have to construct around that and make it more robust. Now then you have given the field events a more facelift, where it's more exciting, where it's more relatable. Once again, let's think about America. America goes by yards and feet, inches. We don't know meters. You know what I'm saying? We don't know kilograms and all these kind of things like that. So when they're measuring shots and discus, it's foreign to the average viewer. Hell, it's foreign to a lot of people who are in the sport who don't really understand, field as a whole. It's the same thing. Like, we need to be able to glamorize the field events better. They already have everything that comes with it to make it exciting. You got some of the people who can fly high over pole vaults. They can go out there and run down the runway and jump the length of a school or a city bus. You see what I'm saying? Throwing implements shots and discus further than any person on the earth, throwing a javelin way across almost a whole football field. That's exciting stats. Those are the things that needs to be out there and talked about more, because that's what really grabs the attention of an American audience, for one, right? And that's what we're trying to look to make it more domestic, make it more relatable.
Yeah, I think those comparisons will be right on point. Like in between a throw, if they say, oh, like Ryan Krauser, for instance, I think he throws something like 70 meters or something like that. I'm not sure, or 70 yards or something like that, right? Or so no, I think it's 72 feet, right? But when you compute that, or when you gauge it, and you be like, oh yeah, it's this far as far as a school zone or something like that. You know, I'm sensationalizing it, but it gives a viewer a more better view. Like it simplifies it for them. You know, high jump, be like, oh, this guy jumped over a 9-foot ceiling. You know what I mean? That's usually in your house, something like that. The world record is 8 feet. 8 feet and change, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we make it more like those comparisons, where the viewer, the average viewer, could say, "Oh, that's crazy." They could look in their house and be like, "We have 9-foot ceilings. He jumped this high." You know what I mean? So it makes more sense.
I'll give you a perfect example. What I find is amazing. Anika McPherson, female high jumper. She's been around for a while. She's a veteran. Made multiple teams. Been a partner of mine, teammate of mine. I think she stands about 5'4", the average height of a female, maybe even a little less. But she goes out there and jumps 6'6". That's way over my head. You know what I mean? That's amazing for an athlete, male, female, to even jump that high. You know, that's amazing to watch and see.
What you do is you just put Michael Jordan next to her and be like, she just jumped over Michael Jordan.
She jumped over
6'6".
Exactly. She jumped over NBA players.
Yeah,
without even touching them.
Like
and I mean, we're not talking about audience. We're not talking about like I'm jumping over you like hopscotch, like and dunking the ball. She is running towards you, semicircle, and then laying out, and then jumping over your head if you 6'6" from her back, and then almost half flipping over top of you. That's amazing to see, and I think an audience would love to see something like that. Now, I'm like you, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I've been in sport for a very long time, and I think this is a great opportunity for
us to learn
the different events, more field events, more the nuances that come with field events, jumps, throws. Because I think that when you look at track and field, they're like bubbles flying in the air, whole bunch of bubbles, like clusters of bubbles, and each bubble represents a different event in track and field. Now, all those bubbles are close together in proximity, and some of them may be touching in some way, but each of them is own rightful world, and they don't know what goes on in another world. Now, maybe a thrower or a jumper right now can tell you what a good time in the 100 meters because it's plastered everywhere. Oh, you got to run 9.8 or run 9.7 because you hear it all the time. But I think, do they know the details of what goes into sprinting like we do? I would love to know and get like an athlete on the show that's in the field world to talk a little bit more about field, talk about the mindset that goes into being field, because they sit out there in that heat or that cold under those little benches, and all they got is a little bit of shelter, and they out there competing.
You would know who probably would have a good measure of everything in track and field for us. Heptathletes and decathletes.
Oh,
they
100%.
are track and field.
100%.
They literally are track and field.
Yeah.
To the T, because you either have field athletes or you have track athletes, but they embody them both. You know what I mean? They embody them both by a plethora of events. So like, yeah, Carl Lewis was track and field. He was long jumping sprints. But Carl Lewis wasn't throwing no javelins and shot puts and all that. But if we could get a good heptathlete on or a good decathlete on to kind of explain what that 2 days is like, doing all those events, and explain, I don't even know how the point system works. in heptathlon and the decathlon. I don't even know.
I'm gonna get my girl on here, Erica Bogart. She been on teams with me too. She'd be a great representative of the field world. She could tell us exactly how it ran from each event, what is good, what is bad. So Erica, shout out to Erica. She's out there right now trying to make her Olympic dreams happen again. So when you get a chance, you come up for air after you finish your trials. Come on the show, for sure.
Yeah, man. Shoot, I'm gonna invite a great too, man. I saw on TV today, Jackie Joyner Kersey. Come explain to us. You know what I mean? At that level, what track and field is all over the world, man. That she's amazing, bro. She is amazing.
Definitely, man. Definitely. So what else we got on the docket, man? I know we not only did we have some big stuff that happened in America that we're gonna get to, but we had some other events that happened around the world. Omanyala at the Kenyan Championships dropped a world lead, but not only a world lead, he ran the season's first 9.7. He actually, I think he's ran the only 9.7 in what the last year?
Since 2022.
2022. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Fred Kerley then was the last ones to run 9.7. 2023, 0.
Wow. Wow. Shouts out to Omanyala, man. Yeah, shouts out to him, man.
Yeah. Only thing though, hey, Fred, Omanyala's our boy, but you know what they're gonna say? He ran it in Kenya.
Listen, everyone has their challenges. And if he can do it there, he just got to work on doing it at the championship. That's outside of the continent of Africa. Once he gets that down, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
I see it as home court advantage, man. Of course, you're gonna run better where you know your fans at, you train at. You know what I mean? You know that track. You know what I mean? So I always feel like you're gonna put on at home, and he knows everybody was there to kind of see him. If you watch how he run his semis, and then now he came back in the final, he knew he was going to run fast, man. He was shutting down at 70 meters, running 10-10. He knew he had something. He knew, like, when I go in this final, I'm going to tap the tank to show my city what I got. I'm going to make this podium. So he might have got tired of us, like, just talking about Noah and everybody else. And he wanted to show that, yeah, y'all need to start talking about me again. And with good effort, you did. We're talking about you.
I talked to him between races here and there. And I tell him little things that I see. I'm like, start's getting a little better, but, his transition was a little soft in previous races. And now when you look at that African championship run, he's starting to put it together. And that's what he said. I'm just putting my races together. I have my time. I just got to strike at the right moment. So I think that's cool because you have a lot of athletes now who understand that they have to seize the moment instead of trying to go out there and run, their fastest times everywhere around the world. That was me trying to run every fast time everywhere. So let's see what they got going on, man. The next month, they're going to be training, a couple more races, and then it's showtime again for the Olympics in Paris, man. African championships, man. Famboule pulled it off in the 100 meters, man. He got a 100-meter championship under his belt for the African championships.
Man, did you see how he did it? I don't know. Like, he's just so comfortable doing it in such a weird way of trying to come back from the back. You know what I mean? He's working on it, though. He always says he's working on. He's like, he's comfortable. He didn't say he's working. He said he's comfortable in his race pattern, and he likes how it unfolds from, I guess, what he works on in training. So he's like, if everybody be like, if he get his first 30 together, he's like, hey, look, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and he's winning. So I guess that's what it is. But it's just so scary. I mean, against a field like the Americans, he won't be able to do the same.
You're right. I mean, it'll definitely be a tall order for him to be able to run guys down. You remember what Dennis used to say, man. 9.8 don't run 9.7 down.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
Do not. They do
and
not.
so on and so on. So I think in increments, if he starts working on his start, you know what I'm saying, within going into next season, he'll be more comfortable with it. And at the same time, you got to realize Bolt didn't have a great start. Carl Lewis didn't have a great start. They still went out there and got the job done. So sometimes it's not about saying, okay, well, I have an incomplete part or a weakness, a part of my race strategy. Embrace it. If that's who you are, you know what I'm saying? Embrace it to the point where you battling with it and then start working on it. That same thing with Noah did. Look at Noah. Noah wasn't the best starter, and now Noah is Noah Lyles. He
Yeah,
out there
man.
winning all the sprints.
Yeah, I mean, he took a different approach though. You know, in the last 2 years, he's probably ran the most 60s he's ever run in his entire life. You know what I mean? His last 2 years of 60-meter runs was definitely developing that start and getting him comfortable with that. He saw something, him and his coach saw something that he needed to work on, even though he had great top end. And they worked on it. You know what I mean? They took 2 seasons to go there with that indoor 60. And he's not starting as behind anymore. He has them right on his hip. If he gets a good start and jumps out in front, it's going to definitely be a problem. But he's right at their hips. And when he accelerates, he moves really gracefully. So, you know, him working on those 60s was definitely good for him.
I mean, yeah, I mean, theoretically, if you're able to get out with the field and you already are beating the field or catching the field at 70 meters with a bad start, if you get out with the field or in striking distance, that's less work for you to do between 60 and 70 meters going into the finish line. So it makes it easier for you. Bolt did it. The same thing Bolt did. You think he had the pressure thinking like, oh, I got to be the best starter in the world because I'm the best sprinter in the world. No, just fix a little bit. You only got to be able to fix a little bit, about 10% to get success from that. And that's what he's doing right now. And I think Noah's comfortable with it. You got to find comfort within your evolution. You can't just go out there thinking that you're going to force it to happen and you're uncomfortable now. You're fighting all those kind of things. You got to find comfort in your evolution. And then I think for him, going and running those 60s, it's almost like he has nothing to lose. Like I'm jumping in the 60s with the mind frame of I have nothing to lose, but I'm going to run my ass off. I'm going to see where we at and we're going to build from there. And that's where confidence came from. And now he can transfer that confidence over into 100 meters outdoors.
Facts. Another thing I was disappointed in, man, at African Champs, man, our friend Taboho was disqualified in the semis, man. He false started. You know what I mean? But he did something great by anchoring their 4x1. They are now eligible for the Olympics. They ran 38:19. I think this is going to be the first time that Botswana is going to have a 4x1 in the Olympics, bro.
That's crazy, man. They out there making history left and right, man. First it was their
Literally.
4x4 at the World Relays. Now it's over here with their 4x1. I'm glad to see he's back at it. Much respect to Boho. I know he's out there working hard and he got a lot on his heart and a lot on his mind. Man, just go out there and do it for the people that love you, bro. And stay focused on what you got to stay focused on.
100%, man. Our hearts definitely still go out to him. He's still out there competing even after his loss, and that's really tough. So that's very, 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 very big of him. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us would be like, I could take the rest of the year off. And I'm pretty sure his countrymen, shoe companies would have understood. They would have been like, okay, cool, we got you. You know what I mean? But he's decided to keep on running. So our hearts go out to him.
Definitely, man. Now we roll into the USA Olympic Trials.
The USA.
The USA Olympic Trials.
Yeah.
In track and field, not drinking yet. We haven't got the drinking qualifications is tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. I'm pre-gaming right now.
Yeah, man. What? So first,
let's talk about Snoop, bro.
Oh,
let's talk about the personalities first that was out there.
Yeah, we had Snoop Dogg, and I think that's cool because I think I remember Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart did like a commentation on track and field before.
I seen that. It was actually hilarious.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg is actually a big fan of Shelly Ann Fraser Price. Like he let it be known and everything else. I don't even know if she's seen it, but he let it be known that he is. And now he's a fan of track and field, man. He's out there learning. He ran the 200.
Hold on, he ran the 200.
Bro, he ran the 200 at 52 years old. The man
Boy,
ran
what?
200. You know who ran with him? Otto and Wallows ran with him. Two former medalists ran with him. You know what I mean?
They bought
in the
Otto
200.
they bought Otto out the box. He came down there and warmed up. I hope they taught him how to stretch and prepare for the race, man. It'll be listen, I would pay to see Snoop Dogg warm up. to watch Snoop Dogg do some A skips and some B skips and some runouts.
He warm up like this. I'm ready. And you know he out there in Oregon, so you know what time it is.
Oh yeah, he living a dream, boy. He probably sitting in that stands like, I cannot wait for this to be done, boy. It's about to go down. Well, actually, it's about to go up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. The celebrities, man, they got to come out and watch. I know sitting in the sun all day is not a thing for celebrities to do, but I'm pretty sure if you get an umbrella, you get you some Gatorade.
First of all,
yeah, I mean,
they ain't doing that, bro. Listen, I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. I wasn't even there. They walked in. First of all, Snoop walked in with Noah, right? They out there styling, profiling, showing their drip off, and Snoop sat down for that race. Did the interview with Mama Lyles. As soon as that race done, I guarantee you, Snoop was out of there, boy. Snoop had to get up out of there. That's too much heat, man. You sitting in that sun way too long, man.
Yeah, man. I seen a lot of people got pictures with him and everything else, man. I think it's definitely good for the sport. And, you know, him supporting the hometown of the USA and coming out, man. I think I saw that Cardi B said she was going to be there. Yeah, I mean, maybe she show up later. I mean, she's a big supporter of Sha'Carri Richardson. So, you know what I mean? Maybe they see Cardi. You know what I mean?
I mean, they got their nails done. They sat down, had the little girl talk, got their nails done together. I saw the little snippet on that. So, you know, the thing is one thing I love about where track and field is heading is the fact of it's getting recognition through other walks of life that actually impact track and field. A lot of athletes listen to music. Why should not music and sports be more synonymous? Why should they not work together? Why shouldn't athletes who are going out there win championships and they turn around and say, you know what I just listened to before I was warming? I was listening to Bodak Yellow, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like that's powerful, bro. Because at the end of the day, that's the music that got you ready for you to accomplish your Olympic dream. That dream you've been waiting for since you was a little kid. You know, so I think this should happen way more often. And put some of these athletes in your videos.
Oh, shoot. But you know, back then, when we know a track athlete has made it or arrived, once a popular musician or rap artist or an artist put you in their song. You know, I've heard Usain Bolt in a song before. I've heard Maurice's name in a song before. I've heard you in a song before. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So well, Sha'Carri, she in Drake's song. She in Drake's song.
Kanye too. Yeah.
Once you get your name put in a song that hit the Billboard chart, I mean, you made it. So putting them in a video, well, Karan Clement was in Beyonce video. I don't know if she knew he was a track athlete, but he was in a Who Run the World video.
Listen, boy, he was in the video. You hear me? Beyonce touched his chin and everything.
She did. She did.
He's dancing number one. That's what they call it on the stage, right? Dancing number one on stage. So he was dancing number one. He danced with Beyonce.
Karan said he would do the show too. I spoke to him, man. He got to tell us that story. I'm pretty sure everybody in the track world want to wonder, how did that happen?
100%. I definitely want to know how that happened, for sure.
That is crazy, man. But yeah, we also had Peyton Manning out there talking to Ryan Croucher.
Oh, they went over film, right? That's what they did. They did the film breakdown and everything.
They did the film breakdown. Peyton Manning talked about how film helped him, and he was trying to understand the moves of the shot put, man. I think it's very good, man. It's like like cross-pollinating of sports.
Very, very true.
Football will have to, hey, I know Peyton Manning was looking at Ryan like, hey, man, how big are you? Yeah, like, he's like, man, you could have played for me back in the day. Block for me something.
He did. He said at the beginning, the intro of the show, he was like, hey, man, he ran down his stats and said how tall he was, how much he weighed. And he was like, how can we get you in some football pads? But Ryan Krauser, I did not know he used to be a quarterback. Did you know that? I didn't know he used to be a quarterback, dog. He big as a lineman, but he got an arm like a quarterback. That's crazy, dog.
Hence them chucking that doggone shot put.
There you go. Exactly.
You know, I wish when we was younger, we knew more. Since going back into the field events a little bit, if I learned more about the field events, who knows, bro? What if you could have been a good javelin thrower? Have you ever learned the javelin? I've never even learned the javelin. I picked one up before, but I've never learned it. Like,
I didn't get the opportunity. Us growing up in Florida, javelin wasn't a thing in high school, bro. So we didn't even get a chance to even be curious about it if we wanted to. I remember seeing javelin for the first time. I was like, why do people over there throwing spears? I was like, that's crazy.
We got Shaka Zulus over there.
That's what I'm saying. But man, you know what? Like crazy. You said, man, I actually like watching javelin, man. Javelin is a very intense competition to watch. So watching them go out there and just throwing it, you know what I mean? So
you know what I like? Going back to track that they did. I think Auto did it in Miramar, where they had the comparison, you know, of the 100 meters to the 40-yard dash for the women and the men, like showing, like at their speed, what they would come through in. And I think that's interesting to like get more football players to watch, you know, track and field too, because how many, if I had a quarter every time I was asked by a football player, what's your 40 time? I'd be a millionaire, bro. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So I like that aspect, you know, going back to saying how we can compare things for the average viewer. I think they should make that back and field too, because I think a lot of viewers watching that, they understand a 40-yard dash a lot more easier than, you know, 100-meter dash. They know 9.8 is fast, 9.7 is fast, or even change it into miles per hour. Like he ran at 26 miles per hour. You know what I mean? That is a great stat that we could use back for our sport.
Yeah, very true. So let's get into these races, man. These last couple of days, we had a nice heated battle. I ain't gonna say heated battle because it wasn't even a heated battle. It was a runaway with Sha'Carri in 100 meters.
No. Sha'Carri and crew.
Oh, I'm gonna get there. Sha'Carri in 100 meters with a very unorthodox start in her prelims and semis. But boy, it showed what her top end really looked like. Yeah, to be able to get left by the field, run the field down, and not just run the field down to run next to them, but run the field down past the field, then slow down to the finish line and still drop 10-8. That's dangerous.
Yeah, that was in crazy. The semis. That was crazy when you watch her do that. And like, I don't know if you watched, she celebrated before the finish line every round.
Yeah.
Like every round she did that. So even what we see in the final is not her and her coach's final work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is crazy. You know what I mean? I enjoyed watching all of the rounds. I mean, from all of the ladies. It was very unfortunate for Mackenzie Long. She got caught sleeping in the semis, man.
Yeah, man. She just reacted too late. And it can happen, man. Audience, when you have to understand, like, everything is chaos up to a certain point. Like, you're warming up, you're going to the call room, you're waiting to walk onto the track. So you're constantly moving. And that one moment where you are in the blocks and then the announcer says, set. You come up to that start position and everything's quiet. Pah, gun goes off. That little split moment, that little split second right there, you start thinking about everything. You start thinking about what if I can win? What if I lose? What if I stumble? What if I don't react? What if I false start? What if I react too soon? All that's going through your mind in that moment. You got to block all that kind of stuff out within those seconds before the gun goes off, and you got to clear your mind. It's very important because if you don't, you get caught sleeping, and now you got to do extra work to catch up. So, but Mackenzie Long is a shining star, and I don't think this is the last that we've seen of her for sure.
Oh, definitely not. I think the stakes was higher for the semis, because they had the heats, top 5 go through, semis, top 2 go through. And, that I don't know if that got to her knowing. And it's a lot easier coming from college when you only have like 1 or 2 runners to worry about. When almost 5 runners in your field or 6 runners in your field could actually run what you run, you can't give up an edge nowhere, not even at the start, in the middle, or the end. And yeah, she just couldn't climb her way back. Very different for Sha'Carri, but she couldn't climb her way back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What did you think about the final?
Amazing.
Historic.
Historic.
Yeah,
Even better word,
historic.
bro. Historic. Shouts out to Dennis Allen Mitchell. He hates
That's
when I call
that's his middle name for real.
he hates when I call him Allen. That's his middle name.
That
Dennis
is his
Allen
middle
Mitchell.
name.
Dennis Allen Mitchell, man. He'd be like, man, stop calling me by my middle name, man. What's wrong with you, dog?
He sound just like that too. Star Athletics, which is both of our old training grounds. I say this often, Dennis is a genius. You know what I mean? This is I think, first time in U.S. history that there is a sweep by one camp in the 100 meters. Maybe in other events it happened, but I know somebody going to correct me in the comments. But I think this is the first time it's happened in the 100 meters for a coach.
Yeah, I can't remember a time where one coach has swept one event. I can't remember. Chat, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't. Especially in the 100 meters, I don't see it. I mean, obviously, someone like John Smith would have the biggest opportunity, but Otto was Trinidad, so he didn't have the opportunity with Otto to have Otto, Maurice, and John Drummond to sweep. But man, historic, like you said. I'm proud of Coach Mitchell. I'm proud of Dennis because I know, and for a very long time, his mentality is dog-like mentality.
It
He needs
is.
people who are going to go out there and try to give it their all and wholeheartedly try and become clutch when it's time to. Put it all on the line. Be a dog with it. And when those 3 women crossed the line, and as you watch them through their prelims, semis, and finals, they strategized and set themselves up. They showed dominance, they showed poise, and then they showed teamwork. Iron sharpens iron. They came across that line, it was like practice for them. That's how
Yep.
it was intense. It was practice for them. And shouts out to TT Terry, because she said at the end of the day,
Definitely.
I have not broken 11 seconds this whole season. And then she went out there and ran 10-8.
Hey, she was battling the injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And real dogs don't put out what they dealing with. You know what I mean? She ain't made no excuses for herself or anything like that. She just was like, look, man. As she walked out that room, and I like that the camera is in that hallway because it showed the camaraderie of all of them. They all 3 touched hands before they walked out in that tunnel. When they came back in, it was like, hey, girl, best of you. Let's go ahead and let's do this. You know what I mean? And like you said, she didn't break 11 all year, but she pulled that out the door. Salute. 10-8, 10-8, 10-7, man. Shouts out to all of them. Melissa Jefferson, she PB'd in the 100. You know what I mean? I think she PB'd. I'm not sure. I think she did.
Yeah, there was a PB because her semis was close to her PB. So I think her PB at that time was like 1082 or something like that. So then she went out there and did her thing. So
yeah. So
yeah.
shouts out to her, man. Melissa Jefferson. She got with Dennis. She said she feel like she's where she needs. She feel like she's home, and it is showing. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know, boy. This 4x1. Lord Jesus.
You already know. You already know what time it is. This is what I've been waiting for. You understand? Because it's been done to me for so many years. When you watch Team Jamaica, when they walk into a building and their 4x1 is ready, the camaraderie, the synergy, the confidence that comes with it. They're ready to go out there and battle. They're ready because they're a brotherhood. They're holding each other accountable. But also at the same time, they're going to get their job done, not for themselves, but for each other. You see what I'm saying? So now we get opportunity to see the women's relay build a unique synergy of training partners who work together plus one or maybe two, depending on what they're going to do when it comes to alternates or whatever like that. But we get to see an opportunity of women who irons truly sharpens iron. They train together every day, blood, sweat, and tears, sacrifice, and now they can go out there and achieve their dreams, Olympic glory with each other. And that's going to go down in history, but also mentally for them for the rest of their life. They can really say that I went out there with my countrymen and won. I went out there with my training partners and won. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I think what they do is, the relay coaches, Michelle, going to have it. But I think we possibly could be witnessing, you heard it here first, at RSG, a world record in the 4x1 by America. I think so. I think so.
Boy.
I think so, bro. I think so. I think so.
Hey.
I think so.
That is a tall order.
It ain't.
That's a tall order.
It's not that tall, bro. If you think what's happening. So look, Michelle gonna have her work cut out for her, but she really don't, right? She got Aaliyah Hobbs and Tamari Davis, bro. And she gonna have Gabrielle. We seen what they did in the Bahamas. We seen what they did without Sha'Carri, without TT. So imagine, right? You go Tamari out the hole to TT to back to Gabby to Sha'Carri, or you could go Tamari out the hole.
What are you talking about? You leaving Melissa Jefferson off of this?
No, that's what I'm saying. But you know how I go. Gabby making the case to be on there. I don't know if she get on there, but she was there last year.
It's a tough one now, boy.
It is. She was there last year.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you how the order gonna go. TT out the hole. You gotta put TT out the hole. You gotta put Melissa on second, and then you put Gabby on third, and you put Sha'Carri on the home stretch.
I beg to differ. This is what you do. You go MJ out the hole, Melissa Jefferson to TT. TT run that back stretch, but she hold that bad boy down.
She do, but I think Melissa's top end's a little more superior today right now. It's a little more superior right now.
It possibly is, but when you put that baton in somebody's hand, things change.
They transform.
Bro. We've seen it more than none now. We've seen dudes fold in the open. You put that baton in their hand and they ride.
Yeah.
So I'm still going because if you remember in 2022, that was the order. It was MJ to TT.
I remember.
That's what it was.
I remember.
So we go back to that. Now that they teammates, we go back to MJ to TT. Now, who you put on third leg? It could be Gabby. It could be Aaliyah. It could be Tamari. But you keep Sha'Carri where she at, right? She's insurance with Allstate, okay? You're gonna be in good hands. But if you lose in there, if she get it behind, she gonna do what she do. And I wouldn't change her position. You know what I mean?
There's no need. It's like changing Noah's position. There's no need.
Yeah.
Like you said, that's insurance right there. Like y'all should be good by the time they get the baton. But if they not, they wiping everything off the board once they get up and running.
And which I think, bro, that we could. Now when it go down in a boom, y'all better run this clip of me saying world record back and be like, oh yeah, RSG called it first.
RSG called it first. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, that's my early prediction of the order. That's what I would pick. I would pick TT out the hole, Melissa on the backstretch, Gabby on third. Then you bring it back around to Sha'Carri bring it home. You
All
gonna
right,
you gonna switch the first two, right?
yeah,
That's what you're doing.
I got MJ to TT to Tamari to Sha'Carri.
Okay. All right.
That's
So
my
we'll
order.
see. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna call Melissa
Is it?
tomorrow and be like, listen, you know what I'm saying? You gotta do this for me. Hold on now. I gotta win this bet.
You mean Michelle?
Oh, Michelle. Melissa, put Michelle on the phone.
Yeah. I don't know if Michelle watched the show, but if she do, if she put that order out there and they break the world record, I ain't gonna say I called it because she probably thinking about it already.
Of course she is.
But
What are you talking about? She's sitting up right now, somewhere in Eugene, Oregon, at some kind of little bar, writing down her list, licking her chops, being like, boy, we got a relay right now.
yeah, man. So yeah. But I like that. Moving on, man. Let's talk about that foreign a little bit, man. Let's talk about the young bull, boy.
Quincy.
World record holder out the gate. Boom.
Talking about Quincy Wilson?
Yeah.
Quincy Wilson is, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. Quincy Wilson, if he stands the test of time, he will be the next face of track and field.
He's a star.
He is a star. This
He's
man,
a star.
listen, he's doing everything your coach tells you to do when he knows the odds are against you. He's out there PRing every round. Prelims, semis, finals. He gonna go out there and give his all, dog. Listen to him talk. He understands the magnitude of what he's in, but the pressure is not too big for him. He said, I'm not running against high schoolers. I'm running against big dogs. But he's operating like a big dog. He's running grown, seasoned 400-meter runner guys down with 50 meters to go.
Yeah, he feeds on the energy. He reminds me of a younger, polished Noah. Like he knows what to say. Like if I'm a guy wanting to sponsor an athlete, I want to sponsor him. I look and be like, hey, how could we invest in this kid? Like what do we how do we want him to do a commercial for us? This kid is a star.
Listen,
you know what I mean? Like
I don't know who taught him to be able to talk in front of camera, but he does a great job talking in front of camera, even when he's out of breath. So he's out of breath every time he talks, bro. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm glad to be here. It feels great. I'm just happy to take on this opportunity. I think he's going to pan out and become something really special in our sport. Verbally, he's out there doing a great job, and physically on the track, he's out there doing an amazing job, man.
Yeah. If he turns pro, and I think he did, or if he runs pro, his agent ain't gonna be doing nothing but collecting checks. This boy's writing his own checks, boy. You could get him Colgate, you could get him Gatorade, you could get him whatever. Once they present this kid and what he's doing, and he's before his time. I mean, when we think about Michael Norman and Noah Lyles and people like Addison Felix, who are all child phenoms, I think outside of Sydney was 16. He's 16, bro. He's not 18 like the others.
I think that he has a great opportunity to where a lot of the other phenoms in our sport didn't have the opportunity because everyone was trying to grow them up so fast. He has the opportunity to be a star for the professional realm and the adult audience, but also be inspiration and an idol to his level of athletes and audience, meaning teenagers and preteens and younger. Like he is going to be that guy, like you talked about before. He's a generational athlete.
He is a generational.
No matter who he signs with, all these kids are going to go buy Quincy shoes.
He already signed though. He signed. I think New Balance took him on.
If New Balance is smart, they'll make him his own shoe because that generation that's to come is going to wear his shoes. You're going to see these shoes at high school nationals. You're going to see these shoes at New Balance. You're going to see these shoes at whatever else, JOs, everything. If he signs his shoe and gets a signature shoe, this kid's going to be the next thing. The Quincy shoes, the Q Dubs. Come on, man! I gotta give me some Q Dubs, dog.
They should give him a signature shoe.
Absolutely.
should.
Absolutely,
should.
dog.
New Balance, if y'all do that, we need our 10%.
We need our 10%. And
We
some
told y'all.
and some New Balance gear. We need some New
Yeah,
Balance
yeah,
gear. Just letting y'all know.
yeah. But I don't know if you know, man. He 2 world records, 45.6, and then he ran 44.6, then 44.5. But outside of all the pros, there's not a collegiate athlete. I think in the final 400, I think he's the only outside kid. Like,
Really?
it's just pros and him.
Wow. Wow. I mean,
Pros and him.
you want to bet on people like that. Like I said, what they got to lose? What you got?
You do. I must say that this probably is going to be he's going to find this to be a really new experience, because it definitely is going to be really taxing on his legs. To PB every round over a matter of a couple of days, he's not experienced something like this where he had to gas every day. You know what I mean? He's literally fighting for his life every day. You know what I mean? So his body is going to feel like he's been hit by a truck in the next 2 days. You know what I mean? But it'll be all over. You know,
trust me,
it'll be all over.
He's gonna sleep for a week.
Trying to tell
for
you,
sure,
like,
boy.
when he get back to his home city, man, they're gonna be waiting in the airport. You know what I mean? For that kid.
They better be, man. Maryland, stand up for your own, boy. Y'all need to make sure y'all show this man some love. Y'all from the city of Maryland, man. Y'all put something together for this kid, man. Because this kid gonna come home and accomplish something that we all wish we could accomplish at 16. Amazing.
Amazing, man, amazing. Shoot, moving on to another young bull. Well, a young bull from Creekside.
Christian Miller?
Yeah, man. Christian Miller, boy. Shoot, I think he was the only kid in his final. Everybody else were pros. When you go down the list, you look at Adidas, Nike, Adidas, Nike, Adidas, and he's just Creekside.
Yeah. He's sticking true to what his roots is. Same thing with Bullis. Same thing with Quincy. They're sticking true to what their roots is. They represent who they are and when they out there. I wonder if they talk. Do you think Christian and Quincy be talking? Do you think they know each other well?
I think they do, but I think after Quincy saw Christian make the final, he's like, I got to make this final. He's like, man, we the 2 youngest out here doing it. Like, they're the 2 kids. They're the Michael Norman and Noah Lyles of this Olympics. You know what I mean? So of this Olympic trials. So he was like, oh man, he just watched that dude go through to the final. He had to do the same, because I don't know if you watched the prelim of Christian Miller. You could tell when he walked out of that door, he's like, this ain't no regular track meet. and the funny thing is, you can't get them ready for something like that, because the Olympic trials is a different level, the stadium and everything else. So you could tell by his time and by the way he responded. Thankfully, it was top 5 to the semis. He wouldn't have got a chance to show up in the semis to do what he did to get to the final. Because you watch him backing down in the blocks, he's looking around, he's moving his head and everything else. But then you fast forward to the final, he walk out that door, he put his hands up, they announced his name, he absorbed that energy, and he was ready for the moment.
For real.
So I think that he had a fast crash course and how to be a professional that quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Now, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I said, now my only question now is, I wonder, I saw him running in Puma spikes. What's going to happen for him? He made the final. He got 5th, which makes he made the Olympic team technically, because he should be pooled for the 4x1. What do you do with him? I'm not sure. I think he's committed to Georgia. Do you go the NIL route? Do you take the pro deal route? What are your thoughts on that?
That's a tough one. That's a real, I really feel that's a real tough one, man, because let's do the stats. He's ran at least 4 sub-10s this season already, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 to 4. And
No, four.
4, legitimately 4, not when dated, 4 legal sub-10s. He is a sub-10 runner, a high school sub-10 runner. There's a lot of professionals out there who are not even sub-10 runners.
No, I've never ran sub-10, which is crazy. So, like, some runners go out their whole career chasing 9 seconds and never do it. He's done it 4 times, making his average 9 seconds. He is a 9-second runner.
He's a 9-second runner. And I think that what he needs to do is, it's a good problem, weigh your options. See what it looks like if you did go pro. Like, what would the numbers look like? Put the feelers out there and see what the numbers look like if he went pro. I mean, he still can get that kind of deal, that Candace Hill kind of guy. Maybe not 10 years, you know what I'm saying, contract, but something to where if you already showing signs of, eliteness, there's going to be a company out there that's going to step up to the plate and say, we'll invest in you because we know that your progression is right there and you're not that far from a 9.8. A 9.8 gonna shake something. We know that. Now, if it goes to college, my only fear about college is each big dog institute, Florida, Texas Tech, anywhere you have these rollers, they're out there running sub-10s. They're out there running 9.8s if it's good, if it's a good season. So now you're just in the mix of a lot of athletes who are trying to get to the level that you already at. There's a lot of guys who didn't make it to the Olympics or Olympic trial, should I say, and they hungry for next year. So they ready to run the sub-10s. They ready to go out there. So now you're fighting against guys again. So I think, to be honest, man, in my opinion, I feel like the pro route will be more beneficial for him. Because now he gets the bag, he gets security, he gets more stability, and now he can kind of just decompress and figure out how he can be able to elevate himself without the pressure of feeling like I'm going to have to compete against people who are my peers and they're going to beat me on the collegiate level. And it's going to water down my stock.
I definitely agree. This is why I agree. I rank the U.S. Olympic trials harder than NCAA's. One thing that he's conquered already is it's always easier to run fast when you know you can beat everybody in the field. We both agree to that. He didn't know if he could beat a lot of these guys who were at his level or better. He stood up to the plate and he made it to the Olympic trials final, in which he's beaten a lot of the collegiates already. If we insert him into the college program, he scores for you. He's in the top 2 easily. I don't see him getting beat that much. So whatever institution he goes to, he's the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not the up and coming guy. He is the guy. You know what I mean? So in my head, like, I see exactly what you're saying. Now, he had on the Puma spikes. If you were Puma, what do? Do you throw a bag at him and be like, hey, look. We ain't got nobody that, as young as you on our squad, this is what we want to do for you.
I say Puma needs to step up to the plate because in the day, this kid ran in your shoes and he's clearly has ran sub-10 pretty much his whole season. He's going to be confident. He's going to be comfortable in your spikes. That's his go-to right now. He's not going to change spikes and say, I'm going to try these one on. He's going to stick to what made him great, what made him get to that level. And if I was Puma, I would say, all right, cool. Let's sign you for a good deal. And then now Puma's breaking into the American market. Not saying that Puma's looking to break in the American market, but now you can plant a seed in the American market. Now, if this kid grows up to what we think he can be, he can be one of the next elite sprinters who signed a deal with Puma. And now Puma is back on top of the podium or somewhere on the podium, potentially. And you have a Puma guy who is an American as well. Now, love it, the fact that Puma is targeting the Caribbean athletes and everything like that and other athletes around the world. But to be in the mix of finding who's the fastest man in the world yet again, and the next generation, you're planting the seed. It's only a matter of time. That's an investment, a true investment on the part of Puma Company. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, you're right. They've invested in the women's side, in Jenna Prandini and Abby Steiner. They're
Mm-hmm.
Puma athletes. So, but they don't have any young males on that Puma side that are American. So I highly agree with you. Puma, if you sign that man, we need the 10%. We're going to be keep collecting our 10% from everywhere. What did you think about our professional runners? How did you, now that we talked about the young bull, he got fifth, what did you think about Noah, Kenny,
I think that
Fred?
well, for one, I think that we never really did our predictions, you know what I'm saying, fully. At least on record. I didn't see anybody beating Noah because of his confidence. He's at a level to where he's running with a lot of confidence. He has a plan and he's able to work with full autonomy, which is he's dressing the way he wants to dress. He's putting on his fashion shows before the race. He's wearing his hair, his outfits. He's bringing Yu-Gi-Oh cards and showing them at the top of the race before he starts. He's stunting on everybody in the way he desires to stunt on. If that doesn't describe comfort at a high level, I don't know what it is. He's able to do whatever he wants to do to make him feel comfortable as he goes out there and get in these uncomfortable situations. He has the advantage. So he's going to go out there and put on a show. I didn't see anybody beating him because he's, out of all the athletes, he's the athlete who evolved the most over the last couple of years. If you think about it, he's worked on his start. You said at the beginning of the show, he jumped in a lot of 60s to work on his start, his transition, to be able to be a faster running at the beginning of these 100-meter races. Now he's showing it in the 100-meter races where before he would be a little more flustered and have to do a lot of work and try to catch everybody by the 80-meter mark and try to beat everybody. Now he's catching people at the 65-meter mark and still pulling away from everybody. So he's evolved better than all the other athletes that are out there. Christian Coleman, Fred, anybody else is out there, he's evolved. So I would say the next athletes who are his top competitors, it's time to evolve. It's time to figure out how you can come better, how you can get back into that 9-7 shape, because that's going to equalize Noah. If 9-7 Fred shows up, or a 9-7 Coleman shows up, or Trayvon becomes healed and comes back out with a 9-7, that is going to equalize those kind of situations that when Noah shows up, he's out here running in front of the pack.
I 100% agree. I had my picks. The top two I had picked for sure. I knew the way Kenny been looking all year, I know Kenny and Noah would be the top two. That third spot would be up for grabs, but I definitely didn't know it was going to be Fred. Fred, I owe you an apology. Once again, I mean, we can FaceTime again. I could apologize to you. But Fred is making history once again, man. A lot of people counted him out, after a few things that he said and whatever, but he just bought himself more time to get better in the 100.
Listen, Fred, I don't got to apologize to you. Let the record show. I said, listen, Fred may be playing the long game. Who's to say right now? He went out there, he got on the team. He's now part of the 100-meter core for the Olympics once again. At last week, he went through a lot of turmoil. You know what I mean? He parted ways with ASICS and he put some words out there in the world and people were waiting for him to back it up and run 9.4. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, at the end of the day, he is now, yet again, another Olympian. He is on the Olympic team. And I'm saying this because who's to say that he didn't go out there and sacrifice finances for comfort? Maybe he didn't feel comfortable in ASIC spikes. Maybe he felt like it didn't do what the Nike spikes did. Now he maybe went out there and chose that I want to feel comfortable because I know if I'm comfortable, I can get the job done. And that's what you guys really going to pay me for, to get the job done. So he went out there, put his Nike spikes on. We saw Nike Fred. He jumped into the blocks. Each And each prelims, semis, finals, he got better and better. And then he went out there and fought for that spot in the 100 meters and got third. Now he's back on the team. Who's to say that's not what the plan was from the beginning? So he's successful in my book right now. Now, what's going to happen after that? Who's going to sign him? What they're going to sign him for? That's a whole nother story right there. Whole nother story.
Yeah, I think watching what unfold, they gonna be like, we'll see. You know what I mean? But Fred gonna be Fred, man. He creating to make history for himself. That's what his life is all about. He said, "I am history," and that's what he's doing. So kudos to Fred, man.
Once again, though, when you think about athletes who grew up with adversity, something like that has been in his life for far as he remembers, overcoming a lot of challenges. It's hard for people who have thrived in adversity. Once they find comfort, if it's a foreign feeling to them. It's a foreign feeling to be out there and have everything at your disposal. Everything's going right. Then you get complacent. Then you're not as good and sharp as you once was before because you're not as hungry as you once was before, or angry or frustrated to where you can use that as motivation. You know what I mean? So sometimes those athletes going to do crazy things that we're not, in our mind, we're looking at them like, man, that's a wrong move. But in their mind, it's the right move because it's going to put them back in the place where they know that they can fight over adversity and be able to still overcome that and be successful. So, you know.
So you saying Fred got to get it out the mud, or he got to feel like he getting it out the mud?
A track record shows it. I mean, if you listen to a story of how he grew up like 8 people in a house, and it wasn't 8 bedrooms. You feel me? So, and at the same time, he also, when he was a 400-meter runner, when he came down, everyone denied him and said, man, what are you doing, bro? You a 400-meter runner. Why are you trying to jump down to this 100? Became world champion in the 100 meters, dog. Ran 9.7 in the 100 meters. Where so many people said and denied and said, hey, you can't do this. He went out and did it. So I think that he's going to use that same energy and say, all the people that's counting him out, he's going to figure out a way to get on top of that podium. He has a month. Good training, good technique, work on what he needs to work on. He needs to dial in. But if he dials in, he's going to be a dangerous and formidable opponent.
True. All of them are, really. I think Noah just feeding off of everything. This is the first time I think I don't think. This is the first time Noah is the 100-meter Olympic trials and national champion in the 100 meters. So his confidence goes up again, man. He's living his life like a real anime character. He is, bro. It's like whatever he say, come to the light. Whatever he say he gonna do, come to the light. You know what I mean? He's putting it out there in the universe, and it's happening for him. And I'm happy for him.
I agree, man. I mean, especially coming from an era where we competed at, where you feel like you had to walk a certain way, talk a certain way, be a certain way through the media. Like you said, he out there living his life, man. He a walking, talking anime character. He doing his thing, dog. Like, why? How you gonna hate on somebody who is comfortable in their own skin? They're doing their thing and they're being successful at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is comfortable until somebody makes him feel uncomfortable.
But that's what it's going to take.
That is what it's going to take.
It's going to take somebody to transform themselves into the 50 Cent of the track and field world and say, I am going to antagonize you and I'm going to throw you off your game and I am going to show you that I'm the man. It's going to take someone who's going to come in and impose their will and really step up to the challenge. Until then, who there? Let me know.
I don't know. They going to have to let him know. They definitely. Shoot, I hate that I kept telling people, man, like the USA trials is always crazy. Once again, my stat came to light. I didn't want it to come to light, but it did. The only country where you can run 9.9 and not make the team. 9.9 was fourth, guys. 9.93 was fourth in Christian Coleman. 9.98 was fifth in Christian Miller. 9-9, guys. You had to run 9-8 to make this U.S. Olympic team.
I'm gonna take it even further for you. The time that Christian Coleman ran in the semis, 9:86. An hour later, if he ran that same time in the finals, would have got him second place.
Oh, and that means Fred don't make the team.
And then Fred didn't make the team.
Because that pushes 9-8 to fourth place.
Listen, I've been there. 2015, I ran 9:77. That would have run the finals in Beijing. So I understand. The fact is, like you said, it is so tough to make the men's 100 meters and the women's 100 meters finals and to make the team, the top three. Extremely hard. When you have those kind of stats, it's all about using energy at the right time and you got to strike at the right time. But once again, I said it before in the episode, bro, like for whatever reason, like the Olympic trials seems much more difficult than the Olympics itself because now in America, you're fighting against not only guys that you know that are capable of getting it done, the other professionals. Now you are put in there with these ready, primed college athletes who ready and they see the target on your back. All they gotta do is beat you. So now you fighting like this. And now the way the generations are working, now you got high school kids coming into the mix now too, dog. So you over there fighting high school kids, you over there fighting college kids, and also the seasoned veterans that you know that can get the job done. So it's a war zone on all fronts. What do? You just gotta go and get dialed in, man. It's hard though.
I watched that the final tonight, and I fell for Coleman, man. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting on the track, you know, especially after you run 9:86. And your last Olympic trials, you know, would be the only Olympic trials that you didn't make a team. What was that like? What did that feel like for you? Could you identify with him and what he's feeling like sitting there?
When you ascend to being a certain elite sprinter and the world knows that you are championship quality and caliber, you feel exposed. You feel like you are like living in a twilight zone because you know in the back of your mind, you're supposed to be on this team regardless. Every team that is up for grabs, you should be top 3 for sure, 100%. And when you be in those kind of situations where you know that you didn't get the job done, you know, it's heavy on you. It's heavy on you. So I think for right now, Christian is very heavy on him. It's going to take a lot of thinking, a lot of time for him to think about what the next move is for him going forward. But it's time for him to evolve. I think he has the capabilities. He still has the youth on his side. Get a little more hungry in him and go out there and come back fighting because we all know Christian got that dog in him. That's one thing that we love about Christian.
Oh,
He
yeah,
got that dog in him, dog.
He do, bro. He don't believe in the gimmicks and the and the antics. He about business.
About business.
He about business with an N. Business.
Yes. And he ready to stand on business.
He do, man. That's a good take, man, on Christian. Like, you know, very, very, very good, very good. Another thing that went on tonight, man, it was great to see Athing Mu again.
Yeah, it was. It was very. She looked poised. She looked like she was focused. And she struck at the right time to be able to dominate her heat. So, what you think?
Man, I think it was good, but what's phenomenal when I was listening, they said Kate Grace just had a baby last year.
She did.
Yeah, bro. She had a baby last year and she passed on that inside and crashed into that scoreboard. I hope she's gonna be all right for this final.
I mean, she got up and walked off like she was cool, but you know that adrenaline be pumping, boy. So by the time you get listen, by the time you get back
in the warm up era,
ah,
don't touch me right there.
Listen, she hit that scoreboard so hard, it stopped her momentum. Like dead stopped it. Like she was falling, it was like bam.
Boy, listen, I'm not laughing at her, but it looked like she hit Ray Lewis, boy. That joke.
Boy.
But she had a season's best though at 158 though. So you can't knock it. Can't knock it, boy. And anything goes at these trials, man. Anything goes. Anything goes for you to try to make the team. And that's what she's doing, man. She's trying to get that rhythm early, and make that team. Shout out to the LSU girl, man. What she should have did is she should have closed that door closer to the railing to where Kate couldn't pass her and get that position. I'm pretty sure our coach is going to tell Miss Rose that from LSU when she went back to the area. She'd be like, look, do not let anybody, if they got to pass, they got to pass on the outside. They are not going to pass you on the inside. And I think our coach will make that clear, man. Shout out to Athing Mu, man. She's back healthy, out there running 158. She looked really good today. Not knowing what we'll see in the 800 final tomorrow. Or I think the day after tomorrow. I think.
I think, they'll probably have a day of rest.
Yeah, they got a day of rest. Shoot. Rounding it out, man. Rounding it out. That women's final of the 400, man. What you think? What's your take on that?
It was a good finals, man. I enjoyed watching it. Like I said, I mean, now you're watching the women's 400 develop. You have professional athletes out there who've been really running very well. Alexis Holmes. A lot of people say she didn't look as well through the finals, but listening to her post interview, she was working on different aspects of her race. She said it. She's like, my coach told me to go work on this in the prelims. They told me to go work on this in the finals. In the semis, and then let it all hang out in the finals. And that's what she did. She still made the team, and now she can go back for next month and work on what she needs to work on to get better. So shouts out to Alexis Holmes. And what about you? What'd you think of Ellis?
Anna Leah Butler. Aaliyah Butler, she got second. Yeah, man. Listen,
from Georgia.
Yeah, under Coach Carroll. Listen, they all had the PB to make the team, bro. All three of them PB.
Yeah.
They gave it, they what I would call, and I'm gonna coin this phrase, they tapped the tank. They tapped the tank, boy. They emptied that bad boy.
They did. They did.
They emptied that bad boy to get to the finish line, especially Alexis Holmes. She didn't coming through the 300. She didn't look like she was going to be there for third, but coming through that last 50, boy, she was working.
Oh, she did.
She was working, and Kendall Ellis, I'm so happy for her because she's been missing at this level of the game for a while. Her running 49.4 should be a great confidence builder for her and her coach and what she can do in the next month or so. So I'd say this women's 4x4 going to look even crazier, man, because you got 3 women at 49 and all they're going to do is put Sydney on there. All they're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's all they're going to do, put Sydney or Gabby on there. That's what they're going to do. You know what I mean? Or you know what I was wondering? Shamir Little. What made her continue through the rounds, and is she going to run the 400 hurdles? Because she declared for them both.
Maybe she said, I'm gonna go out there and see what I can do in the 400. Looks a little bit wide open for me. See if I can get on this team for this 4, and then we're gonna decide if I'm gonna do the 4 or if I'm gonna do the 400 hurdles. So now she can get her rest on and see what she's gonna do for this 400 hurdles. I think it's a pretty good strategy. You know what I mean? If you think that you have another in or opportunity, it's the same thing as 100 meter, 200 meter guys do. You know what I mean? Like we say, okay, I'm gonna get ready for this 100, but if that 200 looking kind of slight, I might go ahead and jump in there and get me a spot. So, you see what you gonna do.
Even if she don't get a spot, she would have made a case. If she get top 3 in these hurdles, she would have made a case to possibly run the prelims of the 4x4. So she'll come home. If she medals at the Olympics, she could come home with 2 medals. And that's good strategy. You know what I mean? To say, you know what? I could try to get this 1 medal in the 400 meter hurdles, but I know it wouldn't necessarily put me in the relay pool for the 4x4. But if I go out there in this 4x400 and I prove myself and make the final, I know I can be pooled for this 4x4. So maybe that was a strategy. We'll see.
Maybe. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I think it was a great opportunity. She saw that she can get an opportunity to get in there, get some fours in. Maybe she gets a good little sneaky exercise in just before her races and see what she can do in these 400 hurdles.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And that, I don't know, you have anything else for trials? Was there anything else you saw?
No, man. Trials aren't over, so I guess it's to be continued, man, until we get to the next episode.
Until we get to the next episode. Once again, man, shout out to our fans again. 16,000 subscribers. We love that you guys supporting our show. Shout out to Snoop Dogg going to the trials and supporting track and field. Also, Peyton Manning. We encourage all celebrities, even if you listen to this podcast, to go ahead, man, and go to a track meet one day, man, and meet some of our special track and field runners, not just in the USA. If you have a chance to go to Paris, do so.
Exactly. And for those out there who got the voice right, we're working on getting those shirts and things for you. So we'll have someone on our team that's going to reach out to you to make sure to get your handle, make sure to get your information. We're going to get you one of those Ready, Set, Go t-shirts.
Ready, Set, Go shirts.
Yes. They're going to come. They coming soon. They coming. It's a lot of y'all. Y'all got it right. Didn't think y'all were going to get it on me. Backing it up, though.
The people who was guessing Powell, I was like, which Powell? Asafo Powell? When do you know, what you call it? Accent. but anyway, man, until next time with us, on the next show with us, for Ready, Set, Go.